Picture this. It's exactly 11:47 p.m. You're wide awake, alone in your apartment, and your phone lights up. The caller ID? Just unknown caller. You hit ignore, right? I mean, we all do. But exactly 5 seconds later, it rings again. You answer, and there's this desperate, whispering voice on the other end. And they know your name. Welcome to Lore Haven. In today's explainer, we are breaking down a seriously mind-bending story about time, fate, and the terrifying, reality-breaking consequences of trying to control tomorrow. Grab a seat because we're jumping right in. So, what if your future actually called to warn you? That is the chilling setup of our source material. Our main character, Emma, is given these incredibly rigid, literally life-or-death instructions by this mysterious caller. The voice tells her, tomorrow morning, do not take bus 22. Leave your apartment at exactly 8:41 a.m. Not 8:40, not 8:42. The caller makes it brutally, terrifyingly clear. If Emma leaves even a single minute earlier, she dies. Now think about that for a second. Most of us, we just write it off as a creepy prank. But what if the stakes are your own survival?
Part 1. The Impossible Call. All right, fast forward to the next morning. Emma is standing at her front door, just staring at the clock. 8:39, 8:40. She is literally holding her breath, waiting for that precise minute. The clock strikes 8:41, and she steps outside. In the very second her foot hits the pavement, a deafening explosion absolutely rocks the street. The timing is unbelievable. Bus 22, the exact bus she would have been sitting on, is completely ripped apart by a massive gas explosion. 60 seconds. That's all that saved her life. But before she can even process the relief, her phone buzzes. It's a text message, just 5 words. Now do you believe me?
Obviously, Emma is freaking out and demands to know who exactly is pulling the strings. And boom, here is our first massive twist. The caller replies, because I am you. Now come on, anyone could just text that, right? So the caller proves it. She starts rattling off Emma's most intimately guarded childhood secrets. We're talking things no one else knows. She knows about the little metal box Emma buried under an oak tree when she was 9, a secret she hid even from her own mother. She knows about the specific scar on her left knee. She even knows about the terrifying recurring nightmare Emma suffers through every single October 14th. This caller isn't some psychic. As impossible as it sounds, she is Emma, calling from 10 years in the future.
Part 2. Enter Project Kronos.
Things go from weird to completely unhinged with the introduction of a guy named Daniel Brooks. Emma's future self manages to plant this physical warning that literally burns into ash right in front of her eyes. Don't trust Daniel. But then, out of nowhere, her phone lights up with conflicting texts. New messages are coming in saying the future has shifted, and now she needs to say yes to grabbing coffee with him. Talk about total chaos. She has no idea who to trust, but she follows the new instructions. They're at the cafe, and she casually drops the specific phrase she was told, Project Kronos. The moment those 2 words leave her mouth, absolute mayhem. Every single phone in the cafe rings at the exact same time with an automated evacuation order. The building is leveled by an explosion, and suddenly they are running for their lives from these terrifying black armored agents carrying weapons that don't just kill you, they literally erase your matter from existence.
They manage to escape into an abandoned warehouse, and this is where Daniel finally spills what is actually going on. Take a look at these 3 strict rules for Project Kronos. Kronos is a machine from 10 years in the future, built for one purpose: to change the past. But unlike your standard sci-fi stories, it cannot send people or physical objects back in time. It can only send information. Specifically, memories. So those creepy phone calls Emma was getting, they weren't actual phone calls. They were fragmented memories from her own future being transmitted backward in time to stop her from making a catastrophic mistake.
Which brings us to Part 3. The Twist.
This is where the narrative completely pulls the rug out from under us. Through this agonizing mental vision, Emma finally gets a clear look at her older self inside the ruined Kronos control room. And the contrast here is just staggering. Present Emma is terrified, right? She's confused, just trying to survive the day. But future Emma, she is deeply scarred. She looks entirely exhausted. And the kicker? She is actively sabotaging her past self. She's literally begging, don't let me finish the experiment. Future Emma reveals that in her timeline, she and Daniel actually ended up married, but she insists that that future must never be allowed to happen.
So it makes you wonder, is Kronos itself the big disaster? Well, the answer is a heartbreaking no. Through this glitching live video feed from the future, the older Emma confesses a devastating truth. She says, the disaster is me.
You see, future Emma became so desperately obsessed with saving people, constantly tweaking and altering the timeline to prevent tragedies, that she accidentally created something so much worse. The timeline itself is collapsing. For every one life she saved, she unintentionally erased thousands of others from existence. So now, she is begging her past self not to save her, because her own obsession is literally destroying reality.
Part 4. The Predestination Paradox.
Right as this massive revelation hits, the warehouse doors are blown wide open by those agents, led by Dr. Adrian Vale. He's the original architect of Project Kronos, and Vale shows Emma this photograph from the future. It's a picture of her, Daniel, and Vale standing proudly in front of the very machine she is currently trying to destroy. So how on earth did she get there? Well, let's track the timeline. That first phone call from the future warned her, which made her miss bus 22. Because she missed the bus and survived, she ran into Daniel. Because she met Daniel, she got dragged into the Project Kronos mess. And because she got dragged into Kronos, she eventually builds the machine to send the warning back in the first place.
When you actually break it down step by step, the trap they're in is absolutely terrifying. She receives a warning, escapes the danger, meets the scientists, and ultimately self-fulfills her own destiny. Every single frantic, desperate attempt Emma made to escape her dark fate, that is exactly what pushed her directly into it. Those phone calls were never changing the future at all, they were creating it. It is a completely closed loop, fueled entirely by the basic human instinct to run from our fears.
Part 5. Breaking the loop. So, the golden question. How do you break a circle if running from the future is exactly what creates it? Just when all hope feels completely lost, Emma's phone rings one last time. But this time, it's not her older self. It's an 8-year-old girl named Lily. Now Lily is up against Dr. Vale's cold, calculated scientific reality. Like he says, you cannot escape the future when every attempt to escape it creates it. In this universe, that is an immovable law of physics. It is pure, ruthless logic. But science is about to collide head-on with humanity. Lily, this little girl on the phone, delivers an absolutely staggering message. She is Emma and Daniel's daughter. But here is the gut punch. She's from an erased timeline. She only exists right now as a fading digital remnant, calling from a broken world where the sky is literally cracked and reality is just falling apart at the seams. And she is calling to tell her mother the ultimate truth about how to fix all of it.
Just look at the contrast between Vale's rigid scientific rule and Lily's deeply emotional truth. Lily tells her mom, "The future isn't forcing you, your fear is." She reveals that the timeline can only be healed by conquering our human obsession with trying to control tomorrow. You can't fix this loop by fighting it or by trying to micromanage the past. The Kronos machine only exists because Emma genuinely believes she has to build it out of fear. So the only way to actually win is to just let it go.
This forces Emma into an impossible, heartbreaking choice. To save reality itself, she has to simply choose not to build the machine. She has to choose a normal, ordinary life. But to do that, she has to let go of Lily. By refusing to build Kronos, by refusing to chase tomorrow, the timeline finally heals. The agents just disappear. The whole paradox collapses. But, tragically, it also means Emma and Daniel will never, ever have Lily. Emma trades the daughter she will now never get to meet just to save the rest of the world. It is such a profound, heavy statement. She chooses to live today rather than being held hostage by tomorrow.
Which leaves all of us with this final lingering thought. Obviously, we don't have time machines or blue memory pulses, but the psychology behind Project Kronos, that is incredibly real. Think about it. How often do our own anxieties and fears about what might happen tomorrow cause us to make decisions that actually bring about the exact things we were so afraid of? Emma's story is this brilliant reminder that sometimes the only way to guarantee a good future is to stop trying to ruthlessly control it and just live in the present. Definitely something to chew on the next time your phone rings with an unknown number. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer here on Lorehaven, and I will see you in the next one.